Hi, this is Bill from Read the Factory Manual, and this is our first instruction video for the Great Mojave Rover. We're going to be building mission control. The first step we need to do is to create an image for our Raspberry Pi to boot from. I'm going to be showing you how to create that image onto a SD card. So what you're going to need to do is go to raspberrypi.org, go to Downloads. From there, there's a new imager that's available, and this is a fantastic little program that will help you make images. So after it gets done downloading, pick Open File. It'll have you answer yes, most likely, to let it run, and then you'll hit Install. Then make sure this is checked to run the imager. It's very important that this is checked, and pick Finish. From there, you'll see the imager load, and here it is. I'm going to right-click on it down here in the taskbar. I'm going to pick Pin to Taskbar. That way it stays there all the time. So now I'm ready to go. I want to choose my operating system. You can choose Raspberry Pi OS, and that will install the normal version, the desktop version. Or you can choose a different version if you'd like. You can install the version, the light version, if you will, with no desktop, just the command user interface, or the full version that has all of the software. We're just going to do the regular version right here. So we'll click on that. Then it's going to say choose card. So I'll put my card in my card reader, and I'll pick choose card. If your card pops up and says to format and things like that, just cancel out of all of it. Then you can choose card, pick your card, make sure you pick the right one. Make sure you look at the size and see what the size is, because if you have an external hard drive connected to your computer, it may list here. You want to be very careful that you pick the right one. To be safe, like I did, I want to be safe all the time, I unplugged all of my external hard drives. So the only thing connected externally was this card. And then I'll pick write. And it will download the software and start writing it to your SD card. All right, it's done. I sped up the film quite a bit so you wouldn't have to sit and watch this thing write. It's like watching the paint dry on one of my Matchbox cars. Hit continue, and then we'll close our application because we don't need it. And then we're going to switch over to the Pi. So we're going to plug this card into the Pi, and then we're going to turn it on. Here's how we put in the memory card, the SD card, right there, micro SD, into a Raspberry Pi 4 or 3 or where have you. On the other underside of it is the slot to put the memory card. So there's a slot, and the connections are on the bottom side. If we look at the memory card, you can see the connections are also on the bottom side as well. So we want to make sure that we have it on the upside. And you just press it in like that. That's all there is to it. It doesn't click or anything. It just sort of slides right in. To take it out, you make sure the Pi is turned off, and you just pull it out. All right, I got the card in, turned on. Let's turn this thing on. Let's see what happens. First thing it does is it resizes the SD card, or the partition on the SD card, so that it uses all of the cards, so you have all of it available to you. And there we go. It has booted with the latest version of Raspberry Pi OS. And there's always updates to this, so we'll need to update it as well. So we'll click on Next, and we'll choose the right spot so that the time zone is right. And you only need to use English language if you pick somewhere other than a country where English is the main language. Same with the keyboard. So if you're in the UK and you have a US keyboard, you can click that and it would make your keyboard work, even though if you chose United Kingdom here. It wants you to enter a new password. I'll type in my password. And nope, it looks good to me, so I'll hit next. It's looking for the Wi-Fi networks. You're going to click your network, hit next, then type in your password, and then next. It'll connect you. And then it'll ask if you want to update. We'll hit next because we do want to run the update. So now it's going to synchronize the clock to get the clock to the right time, and it is going to check for updates. That lightning bolt up in the corner by the time that pops up every now and then, that's telling me I don't have enough power. So I need to figure out what's going on with that. Not using the official Raspberry Pi power supply on this one because I've run out of those and I need to order some more. So we'll let that download the updates and we'll see what to do next. This process takes quite a while. It's been about 5 minutes on my Pi right now. This is a Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs of RAM. It's one of the first Raspberry Pi 4s. Alright, system's up to date. Okay. And then we'll restart. Alright, so our Pi is booted. Everything is great. Now we're going to turn on a couple things. We're going to turn on SSH. That allows us to remote into it, as well as VNC allows us to remote in. A little bit different kind of remoting in. SSH is just the terminal, where VNC gives you the full desktop. So you really want to have both turned on. So we'll go up to the Pi, the start button, lack of a better term, and we'll go to Preferences and Raspberry Pi Configuration. We'll go to Interfaces. We'll turn on SSH and VNC. Those are the only two that we need to turn on right now. We'll pick OK. And then it will go through and install those for us. Finally, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our Pi is up to date. So we'll click on the terminal. The terminal's your friend. Get to know the terminal. And we'll do an sudo, which is super user do, apt-get update. And what that will do is update all the repositories. The repositories are where all of the updates are stored. Then we'll do an sudo apt-get, and we'll do a upgrade. We'll do that first. And that found a program that it doesn't need anymore. So see how it says sudo apt auto remove. So we'll try that. Sudo apt auto remove. That will remove that. Yes. And then we'll do a sudo apt-get dis. And if you hit the tab key, it will fill out the rest for you. So dis upgrade. And everything's up to date. So normally what you need to do is those three things. The sudo apt-get update, then upgrade, then dist upgrade. So there we go. We have a Raspberry Pi up and running. The next video is going to show you how to install the server software for mission control on your Raspberry Pi.